Hello, my dear friends, subscribers, and just guests of this channel. My name is Vladislav Ryzhenkov, I am Russian and currently I live in New York City. Today I want to talk with you about homelessness in America. If it's difficult for you to understand what I say, please switch on the subtitles and it will help you a lot. It's not a secret that the United States is a country with one of the most developed economies in the world, but at the same time, it has thousands of homeless people. How can it be possible? Let's figure out it. But before we get started, please subscribe my channel, click on the bell icon and let's go! Indeed, if we look at these statistics, New York is in first place in the world in terms of the number of millionaires and billionaires living in one city, which automatically makes it the richest city in the world. But at the same time, statistics show that New York ranks in first place in America and second in the world, second only to Manila in the Philippines, in terms of the number of homeless people living in one city. Next goes Los Angeles. And despite the fact that the population of Los Angeles is more than half that of New York, the number of homeless people is almost the same, which in percentage terms puts it in first place. And it's not surprising, because of comfortable natural conditions of Los Angeles, it's easier to be homeless over there than in New York. How is it that the richest city in the world has so many homeless people? Here several factors play in favor of this. First of all, the richer the city, the more opportunities it has. The more opportunities the city has, the more people want to get over there. The more people want to get into the same city, the higher competition. And here, basic principle of economics already works. Demand creates supply. The more people apply for the same apartment, the more expensive it will cost. The more people applying for the same job position, the easier it is for the employer not to raise wages. Well, if you dislike something, you can easily be replaced by someone who's satisfied with everything. Many people, such as illegals, low-skilled workers, people who don't have any permission to work in USA, often fall into this trap because they cannot apply for something better or highly paid. As a result, rent prices go up, food prices go up, service prices go up, but wages of these people don't. Here where they fall. This problem has become very aggravated during the COVID. Because many people lost their jobs, they were unable to pay for their rents. As a result, they were forcibly evicted to the streets. And despite the fact that landlords didn't have any right to do it, they still evicted people because the people didn't sign the lease agreement. Eviction, job loss, inadequate assessment of their financial capabilities are not the only reasons why people find themselves on the streets. Sometimes people go outside because they want to avoid domestic violence. Yes, it happens that sleeping in an underpass can be safer than at home. For example, it happens in that family where one of family members abuses drugs or alcohol. And it's not a joke. During delirium treatments, an alcoholic experiences hallucinations. He sees images and hears sounds that are not there. It scares him. He can grab a knife. And who knows what's gonna happen in that family in the evening. And I don't even mention drug addicts. By the way, drug addicts themselves also suffer because of drug addicts. Some of them are getting evicted, but some of them are willing to do anything for a dose, even to kill someone, even to give away their own apartments. As a result, they can find themselves on the streets. As you can understand, Some of these people lying around will probably die soon, and some of these people may be already dead. Yes, this is the harsh reality, and yes, this is the other side of the living in the city of millionaires. You must be wondering, why is nobody trying to help them? Why people just walk by? Why is nobody paying attention to them? And the answer is really simple. First of all, remember yourself. How often do you ask people in an underpass why do they lie over there? Especially if they smell bad. Especially if they lay down in dirty and torn clothes. Moreover, most of us will think this is just a junkie who brought himself in such a state, and it's not our problem. And everything is even more difficult with this problem in America. I want to tell you the true story that has happened with me a few months ago in Manhattan. It was on 34th Street, in a subway. I saw a woman laying down in a clean cloth in the middle of the wheelchair ramp. Nobody was paying attention to her. Some people were even stepping over her. Nobody tried to help. I came to her, she didn't react. I thought she needed some help and checked her pulse, she was alive. I decided to wake her up, and she said, "Go fuck yourself," just because I interrupted her sleeping. Yes, it's not a joke. She really said, "I live in a free America. I can do whatever I want and I can sleep whenever I want." As you know, the United States is the land of the freedom. One of the main symbols of America is Statue of Liberty, and people here so get used to feeling this freedom, so they can do almost everything what they want, knowing nobody will judge them. As you get it, we can conclude that not all of those people who resemble the homeless are actually the homeless. Even if they sleep in public places, even if they sleep in strange poses, even if they sleep in dirty, torn, bad smelly clothes in the middle of the road, blocking the way to people. It's quite possible that they came over there just to take some rest in free America. Moreover, don't forget that many people come here from other countries. Countries like Nicaragua, where average monthly income for a good specialist is about $300. And here in United States, even doing the dirtiest, the lowest paying jobs, you can easily earn $500 a week. And as you understand, this is absolutely different money. Therefore, most of the money earned here goes back to their countries, but people also need to care of themselves. As a result, they are forced to work 2 or 3 jobs. It's exhausting. Always working, people don't have time enough to take a rest. And sometimes they can pass out in any place where they can just take a seat. Such a lifestyle is not only physically exhausting, but also leads to psychological disorders, and as a result, to doubtful decisions, such as to go sleep in public space, or to start using drugs in order to relax a little. But there is a rub. We all know that drugs very often exacerbate the mental disorders, and sometimes the mental disorders can be so severe, so people can no longer do any work, and actually to be a part of the society, and turn out on the streets. You may be wondering if the government tries to help the homeless and the drug addicts. First of all, they are entitled to benefits as poor people. Secondly, there are a huge number of so-called food banks in the city, which ones you can find by calling 311. The agent will tell you where you can find the closest food warehouse and on which days they work. Moreover, everyone can get free food, and it doesn't matter what your migratory status is and what your financial situation is. I also want to tell you that there are many non-governmental food programs in America. Enthusiasts gather in small groups, buy their own foods, prepare it, and distribute to everyone who can. Knowing this, I can just imagine the situation when someone pulls over his brand new Mercedes S-Class next to a food bank, gets his free meal, and people don't mind. As a result, we can conclude that you will not be hungry here in America. Moreover, the National Alliance to End Homelessness calculated that government spends more than $51 billion for homeless and drug addicts. And as you understand, all of this money goes not only for food banks. For example, San Francisco was giving marijuana and alcohol to homeless people during the pandemic in order to motivate them to stay in hotels and not to spread the disease. That's not all. For example, there is the news of May 6, 2022. East Harlem has a center where everyone can smoke, sniff, or inject oneself under the medical supervision. What is it for? I think it's for their safety. Because a drug addict can be more dangerous in the state of withdrawal than a person in vegetative condition that peacefully sleeps and doesn't touch anyone. What else does the United States government try to do for homeless people? There is a belief that Los Angeles and New York City secretly export their homeless people to Hawaii, and supposedly they should not return back. At the same time, the former mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, says that the only one person used the opportunity to fly to Hawaii since the program started. And the most interesting thing in all of this situation is that homeless people can get a free ticket in order to fly back to the mainland. They are told right there at the airport, if you don't have a place to stay overnight, you can either to fly back to where you came from or to be arrested. It helps to reduce homelessness in Hawaii. And the last but not the least thing what I want to say is that some homeless people are scammers. They sit outside with miserable, unfortunate look, especially in the bad weather, and asking for help. And it would seem that if there is such heavy downpour, you can go to an underpass to wait for a few hours, and after to go out and ask for help. But no, friends, they do it purposefully, because it's psychology. People who pass by simply cannot refuse them, because they perfectly feel how difficult it is not to have a roof over your head in such terrible weather. And of course, they give them their money. But irony is that some homeless people have the roof over their head, and moreover, some of them even have jobs, but this is kinda like hobby. I will tell even more than that. Some of these people so get carried away, so they really leave their normal jobs, because it's too humiliating for them to obey someone. But to go in a public transport, cry about your miserable life, to tell your poor story to people and ask for money is not so humiliating. Alright, my dear friends, thanks to everyone who watched this video. I hope it was interesting and useful for you. If yes, subscribe my channel, click on the bell icon, and if you want to say something, we have comments. See you later, bye bye.